Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Chaotic Entertainment. I'm your host, Daniel Clark, and today we're going to be taking a look at Secondhand Frankie's Revenge, an early access game by Rikodu. The game is currently $15 USD on Steam. It's a twin-stick style shooter game with some melee elements as well. It's an interesting title. It really has a lot of promise to it, but the problem with this game, you're going to see as I explain here, it doesn't really deliver on a lot of that promise. So let me go ahead and just show you a bit of what I'm talking about here. In this game, the biggest appeal, the biggest marketing ploy they have is that you can customize your robot, which is really great. You know, I like that. I like the different costumes, the different add-ons, the different parts. The only problem is you're going to find that a lot of them are very, very similar. They don't really do that much. Some of them are uniquely different than other ones, especially your left-hand equipment. But the problem is that with the body parts here, they don't really give you much in the way of different features. They just change the stat numbers a little bit. One doesn't have armor bonuses or anything. One doesn't offer special unique abilities. For the legs, the lawnmower is the only one that I really use because the tracks in this game slow you down. One of the first problems with that is the lawnmower is faster, the tracks have better handling, but look how sharp you can turn in this game already. You already have zero turning, so there's no real purpose in getting the tracks to slow you down, making it a useless upgrade. For melee weapons, the cutlass is interesting, but the boxing glove, in order to be any useful, you have to have the other boxing glove equipped, which means you have no ranged weapon. The glue gun is great for multiplayer, if you have friends, because it can heal them, but otherwise it's pretty much borderline useless. The plunger bust gives you some ranged attack that doesn't cost any energy, but it's slow and doesn't really have much in the way of range, so it's actually not that useful and it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. The only weapon I found that's particularly good is the chainsaw, but even then it slows you down so you can't move very fast while you're using it. The head, you have a few different options. I don't have the defibrillator unlocked, but I'm guessing it has something to do with healing your friends or something. The disco ball is the only attachment I use. The reason being is because its special ability is, as you can see there on the video, it slows down your enemies, it stuns them in place, and you're free to just attack them while they're stuck there. The shell boy, gives you an artillery barrage, as you can see there, but the problem is that enemies don't just stand still and let you do that while you're lining it up like that. You get 3 shots that cost energy, and you have to hope to God that they're far enough away that you can line the shots up without them getting too close and knocking your health down to nothing if you're playing on the harder difficulties. The diving helmet pulls enemies closer to you. I don't know why you would want that. There are some enemies in this game that'll run from you, but you have a dash button, so it's not really that big of an issue. In fact, once again, on the harder difficulties, you don't want enemies near you. You want them as far away from you as humanly possible, because they can take your health away in 2 to 3 hits. Now, the big thing about this game is that it's designed and set up to be a multiplayer game. However, every time I try to join the online servers or play with anyone online, that just doesn't happen. For a game that's in early access and relatively new, it was put on early access in the end of May, I believe the 30th. There aren't anyone online. There are no players. There aren't anyone online. There isn't anyone online. Good lord. But no, there aren't any players. Every time I go to this list here, I have yet to find a game. Oh yeah, no games found. Again, this is my 4th time trying in times I've been trying to make this video. So as a result, I'm going to have to review this game based entirely on its single-player gameplay. Unfortunately, that is not this game's strong suit, but, you know, honestly, I've always been of the mindset that multiplayer-based games, or games that with multiplayer elements, if they have a single-player option, they should be able to stand up on their own merit for the single-player. So, before we go into the actual gameplay, let's take a look at what we've got in this little hideout here. As you can see, I've got some interesting little decorations kicking around. The big reason for that is one of the nice features of this game is you can customize your hideout. You can upgrade your lair. I decided to put that big gear-covered wrench up there. Seemed kind of fitting for the channel. You can upgrade your bar, you can upgrade your projector, you can upgrade your rockets, you can add all sorts of nifty little things to it. I personally like the way I have everything set up right now, so we're not going to play with that. Alright, and without further ado, let's just get into this game. So one of the big things about this game is every level has a gimmick of some sort. The level of Crowholm here and the level High in the Dark, these two levels are just awful. They are just terrible levels. In Crowholm, you have to go through and beat the level, but along the way you have to stop twice and play hot and cold with a fishing bot that has limited uses before you have to refill it, trying to find 3 batteries per use. And to make things better, you can be attacked while you're doing this, so you have to stop what you're doing, defeat the enemies rather, sorry. Get this thing loaded back up, and then go back to playing hot and cold until you find the batteries. High in the Dark, it's a very simple level, but it's extremely dull. You just keep climbing these different levels over and over again. You go on the elevator, you go up a floor, you plant some charges, go back on the elevator, go up a floor, plant some charges. You do this like 7 times. It's just not great. I haven't played any of the second campaign, so we're going to see if there's anything of note in the second campaign. We're going to go through the first level together. This is all new to me. And we're going to see what we can find out in the second campaign. Maybe the second campaign's more interesting. Maybe it has more going for it. I doubt that's going to be the case, but we're going to try anyways and give it the benefit of the doubt. Use the Sonic Wagon. Okay. So, for this one, yes, this is literally just a slightly different version of the second level from the first campaign. The second level from the first campaign, instead of doing this, you just keep throwing coal into it every time it stops. Oh, Lord. Do I have to stand next to this thing and just hold A? No, I can't even hold A. I have to keep pressing it. As you can see here, we have some relatively riveting gameplay happening. Oh, man. So, one of my least favorite things about this game right here. In order to beat these enemies, all I have to do is just just press the right bumper and then hold the right trigger. I'm playing with a controller because twin-stick shooters are played with controllers. They literally can't hurt me if I do this. And I feel bad for using it, but at the higher difficulties, which I'm not currently playing on, you can't get in melee scraps with enemies. You'll just straight up die. There's no way around it. So, it's an automatic must-have, and it just kind of makes the gameplay pointless. It removes almost all the challenge in the game. But not using it makes the game extremely unfair in some places. Like, it makes it feel like you can't get through certain enemies. Alright, there's some boxes here you can break and get some items. Oh, we have a super here. Anyway, I'll show you what these add-ons can do. So every now and then you can find items that you can use, consumables that give you limited power-ups. In this case, I found one that gives me double damage, which is pretty handy. Especially on my little chainsaw, which has the highest DPS out of all the weapons I can unlock. There we go. I can just cut right through them like they're not even standing there. A few things I feel like this game could really benefit from are things like a natural progression system involving stat points, not just gear upgrades that are not particularly interesting or, in a lot of cases, all that useful. But, unfortunately, this game doesn't have that. Another thing it could really do with would be things like, I don't know, say, special attacks, special abilities, special combos that you can use. A block button or a parry button would be interesting. Just any mechanics to make combat more interesting than just kind of moving around them and then pressing the right trigger over and over and over again. It gets dull very quickly. Even if the weapons were all different and unique and worked a lot better, or at least if they were unique in ways that were useful, then still the way they have it set up wouldn't be particularly interesting to me. So, also, a lot of the objectives in this game have little quick-time events like this you have to do, which is exactly as fun as it sounds. They're not difficult. You have as many tries as you want. There's no consequence for failing them. So, unfortunately, that's what we would call padding. This game has a lot of just padding. Just a lot of it. There are a lot of parts in this game. Wait, what difficulty am I playing on? I could have sworn I was playing on easy, but the amount of damage he just did to me tells me that's not the case. I have no idea what challenge I'm playing on. Come here. Come here, you little buddy. Come here. I like your mustache, but unfortunately I can't let you live. There we go. Thank you. I was breaking this big thing full of juice. I don't know why this thing is full of juice or why I need to destroy it or how destroying it furthers my objective, but it serves its purpose, I guess. And don't mind me, I can just bob and weave around your shots really quickly, and I just ran right back into it. You know, I'm trying to prove a point about how easy this game is with my little thing here, and you're not really helping me. Alright. So, with these enemies here, let's discuss another problem this game has. The enemies They all look kind of exactly the same. Now, there is some model variety, but it's very limited. The enemy types themselves are actually pretty limited as well. They're mostly just look like modified versions of each other with some slightly different perks or benefits. The only real unique ones that I've seen are there's some propane bots, some siren bots that summon more enemies, but even then the enemies they summon are very easy to kill, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. The propane enemies that I mentioned, they explode when you kill them, but when they explode, they can only hurt you. There's no tactical benefit to destroying them while they're near their allies. So, they just kind of feel like an unnecessary pain in the ass. Come on, come on. Alright. Oh my god. I know this would probably be easier with friends, but the thing is, this isn't difficult. This is just tedious. This is just time-consuming. There we go. Come on. Come on, get moving. I am in the middle of a project here, folks. Okay. Why is your shot going so slow? Are you trying to curve the bullets into me? I'd rather you didn't. Here we go. It's a lot like Wanted, but you don't get to see Angelina Jolie's ass, which is the very disappointing part. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, I missed. Come on. There are so many of them around me now. Can we not? Can we seriously get something that isn't... Come on. Come on. Listen. There we go. Listen. Alright. It's time for this to stop. There's just nothing to this. There really isn't. I just press a button, I hold another button, and that's as deep as the combat gets. I can use my ranged weapon, but honestly, with how little damage it does, that's energy I could be using doing this. So there's really no reason why I would. The only time I really use my ranged weapons is during the only boss battle I've done, which was unreasonably hard, or honestly just felt unfair. Here we go. I will get to the end of this level, I promise. I'll get there. I know I will. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Yeah. Alright, come on. We just have to move this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why would you design this? Who programmed this? Who thought this was a good mechanic? I know the game is only $15 on Steam, but this genuinely doesn't even feel like it's really worth that, as cold as I feel saying that. I always try to find the best in games, and I love indie games, but oof, boy. Come on. Yep, alright. Yeah, this is very exciting. We're all very thrilled that you're all here. Oh my lord. I've never seen so many enemies in this game all at once. They don't normally crowd like this. Here we go. Well, at least they're adding... No, they're not adding a challenge. What am I kidding? As long as I can do this, it's really not that exciting. Honestly, they need to either nerf this ability or they need to make the other ones better, because it's boring being able to just do this. It feels like a bit of an exploit, and I know that maybe I'm ruining the game by doing it, but it's just not. It shouldn't be in the game if it's this easy. If it makes the game this easy, it seems like a bad choice of development, of design, really. But, you know, whatever. It gets the job done. It lets me get this review done faster, so I suppose that's that. Although it's not really a issue for me. I don't mind if a review takes as long as it takes. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so I can't attack the juice thing as soon as I get here. I have to wait for it to become vulnerable to me, apparently. That's very unfortunate that you would design it that way. I have to wait for the plates to move. I don't know why I would want that in my game. Come on. There. Alright, we'll just move this. And you know what? I'll shoot this guy to death. Didn't even shoot him. There we go. Well, I did shoot him. It just didn't kill him. See, this is why I mentioned stat points would be nice. Because then you could, like, really trick out a build. You could have someone who's really heavily range-based, who does a lot more range damage. Yes, you could take a gun on your left hand and then take that plunger bus on your right hand, the one I showed you earlier, but the problem with that is the plunger does so little damage. It does some decent damage over time, but if you're fighting a mob of enemies all at once, it's not going to be useful to you. Having things like counters, parries, things like that in this game would probably make this a lot better. And I understand these are just some indie devs, so I don't want to crap on them too hard and, you know, be a jerk, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to be as honest as I can about the game. Also, those fun little speedy enemies you saw at the beginning of the level, I haven't seen any more of them since we got here, which is disappointing. I was kind of excited to have a new enemy. I've never fought them before, and they've never been in any other levels. Come on. Oh, look, there's two of the heavy enemies. Hang on. Let me just slowly make my way over there. Just creeping and cutting, creeping and cutting. There we go, and now they're gone. No, 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 no. Oh, man. Alright, I guess I'll just sit here. Stop that. There we go. Oh my lord. You don't need to spawn them this rapidly. You really don't. You really, really don't. Is this the end of the level? It must be the end of the level. Another problem with this game is no matter how good you are, if you're up close and personal with them, if you have the chainsaw equipped, or if you don't have this equipped, the little dance hat that I have on, without these, it is impossible to win fights without taking any damage. It's borderline impossible, and if you do want to do it, you're going to burn through energy trying to use your guns, which is not great, because it means the skill cap in this game is extremely low. There's no real reward for better plays. The boxing gloves are the only real exception to this, if you can move, because you can move backwards at a reasonable speed with them, and then spam the right and then left triggers, but I mean, that's not really skill, you're just moving backwards and spamming left and right, so... You know, it doesn't really solve the problem. Alright, let's just get this thing over there. Maybe if I move over here. Can I use this for cover? I can use this for cover. Alright, mission complete. Okay. Now to call an evac, I have to do yet another QuickTime event. There we go. Alright. We are almost there. Alright, the jetpack will spawn right over there. Alright, now I just wait for the jetpack. Again, goes back to what I mentioned earlier about the lack of difficulty in this game. Having to call for the evac. Oh, there's the jetpack. Now to use the jetpack, there is no QuickTime event. I just have to keep pressing the A button over and over again. There's literally nothing that draws back from this. You can just press it as much as you want. Moving around doesn't slow you down. Attacking doesn't slow you down. And I don't think taking damage slows it down, so... It doesn't really serve any purpose. It's just there to make the game last a little bit longer. Oh, I was playing on hard difficulty. There we go. I'll take my rewards now. Did I level up from that? I did not. Alright. That should hopefully give you an idea as to what this game is like. If you want to try this game out, for the love of God, get some friends to play it with, because... You're going to get tired of it very quickly doing it single player. This game has a lot of potential, but that's all it is. It's just raw potential. A lot of potential. This game, with skill points, with ability points, things like that, more RPG elements, this game could really, really be something great. But in its current state, would I recommend picking it up right now? No, I wouldn't. The only way I could see it being very enjoyable is if you were playing with friends. Otherwise, it's it's going to get bland very, very quickly. You can't rely on finding anyone online because the game is practically dead, even though it's not even out of early access yet. So, yeah, get friends if you're going to play it. Otherwise, for me, it's going to be a pass. But that's just my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Chaotic Entertainment. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please be sure to leave a like. If you haven't, well, you know what to do. I'll see you all in the next video.